analysis in this space, and you provided a lot of very good information and figures. How do you believe it is tracking to previous estimates? Because that's one of the things that we've seen a lot of issues, a lot of questions raised in the industry about the initial estimates versus what we're tracking to now.
Thanks, Joe. I think so far so good. The tracking is within 20% of planned. Everybody's calm. Literally the first deliveries for commercial use came about 6 months ago. Eclipse and Dayjet, a couple of Mustangs are in commercial service. So this year is critical to see how far are those estimates. And again, the performance of Dayjet and the performance of Eclipse need to be watched carefully, and I would say supported carefully. We really all as a group need to make sure those two succeed in the eyes of the observing public and investment community.
Very good. Questions from the audience? Right over here to the far side.
Masood Bazargan, Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. I have a question for Mr. Garcia. First of all, thank you very much for your presentation. I really enjoyed that. My question is, maybe you mentioned that in your presentation, that what was the basis for your projection both on supply and the demand? The production of the aircraft and also the growth of the air taxi. I mean, are you envisioning the linear growth, or how do you see these growth?
Well, two questions there. First of all, thank you, Mansour. Mansour was my professor at Embry-Riddle when I did my MBA, and I thought the final exam was the final exam, but there's some more. Thank you, Mansour. Two things. One, what the numbers I showed today are not my analysis. I chose to stay with industry observers. So those forecasts, as you can see on the list, are a consensus of the 10-12 leading research companies. So starting with those numbers, what I did analyze is what does those numbers mean, and what could hiccups on the supply chain and production methods as we know them today could mean for those numbers. And that's how the center of gravity that we found with Eclipse, with 75% of the backlog, shows you the leverage on whichever methods they are using for their supply chain, the vendors contracting, the risk-sharing partners, have a monumental effect on the rest of the industry until the other manufacturers come into play and they leverage a little bit that center of gravity. What is interesting is that the methods used by all the manufacturers today, and I'm going from the Phenoms, Embraer, a very well-established Cessna, down to Adam or Eclipse, they're pretty similar. And they are drawing significantly from the airline industry, projections, databases, and risk opportunity analysis. But like I said before, let's look at the airline industry. When all the suppliers and vendors are leveraged to the hilt, both in time, in resources, and in just in time, the speedy approach to delivery, and there are 100 links to a delivery, the effects are a wiring connector can delay a delivery of a $200 million airliner by 12 months from a manufacturer which is somewhere in a small town in the Midwest of the US that makes those little brackets. That's 787 example. So that, I hope that answers the question. My analysis was effects upstream and downstream the commerce chain to support those numbers.
Very good. Any final questions? Excellent. Let me tell you about a couple of things. First, our legal seminar tomorrow is, there are two very interesting seminars. First, an interactive FAA regulatory and certification discussion, how to get and keep a Part 135 certificate by Air Taxi Association General Counsel Mark Fava of Nelson, Mullins, Riley, and Scarborough. He is, has a panel including Dayjet, Imaginaire, Skyway, Air Taxi, and Nowjet, and others that is really going to be a nice interactive discussion on Part 135s. Very worth attending. And then afterwards, a more sensitive subject for our industry. We have but one that if we have to tackle it, it's better to do it beforehand than after the fact. Mark Dumbroff, who's been one of the leading aviation crash attorneys for Part 121 operators, is speaking on an air taxi is down accident and incident preparation. And so it's something that we really would like to not discuss or have to deal with for many, many years from now or ever. But it's going to be a really great session. I encourage all of you to attend. For lunch today, Coastal Technology Group is sponsoring the lunch. They have been a phenomenal supporter of the International Air Taxi Convention and the industry. We're grateful for them sponsoring it. At the lunch also, the states of North Carolina, Virginia, and also Florida are going to be getting together with air taxi operators to talk about best practices. There is a table reserved for Air Taxi Association U.S. operators, and this, while it's at this lunch, I just wanted to state that this particular meeting is simply about marketing best practices among the states, and so that we can begin that process. One of the things I'd like to remind you all about is please look under the first page of your book. You'll see on the front an evaluation form. You'll see the name Joe Leader. If you could please take it out and mark an A next to my name and put whatever you think about everyone else, we deeply appreciate it. At the end of the day today, all you have to do is tear out the page with the evaluation forms. Really, tell MIU Events what you think. If you loved this and hated this, put it down. They really respond to the feedback. They did it at the 2 other conferences I did, and they gave me a detailed analysis afterwards. It's appreciated. For the Atom Aircraft sponsored dinner this evening, you not only will be out by the beach with everything nice and the waves going and a very, very lavish open bar, but you could have this giant bottle of champagne all to yourself, and you could be walking around with it under the stars. So that's what we're giving out to people that fill out the questionnaire. We'll do a drawing at the very end of the day, and we'll announce the winner tonight at the Atom Aircraft dinner. With that, again, thank you very much for everyone's involvement. I look forward to seeing you at lunch, and lunch is where?
The same place as yesterday, the Asia restaurant downstairs, exactly the same place. But, yeah.
Right.
Same venue.
Very good. Thank you very much.